right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem Makakodash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who were well taught me this truth. Peace and salutations be to the Akim that's pushing this truth with righteousness and sincerity. Honor Brother Yashar, Gabar, back to again with another lesson. And Lord willing, this lesson be edifying to the elect. All right? So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Starting off with the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 12. And it reads, Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down until you have a great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time. Yeah, America is fallen, man, And Esau, Edom, the devil, all right, meaning deceiver, know his time is short. He know his place, his kingdom is crashing, and he can't stop it, because it's all the will of the Lord, So, he's going to do everything in his power, all right, to keep, this place rolling, and that's what false attacks, on American soil, all right, starting wars, all right, coming down upon the people, all right, the scripture just said, coming down, having great wrath, coming with the sword, doing everything in his power, all the wickedness he has planned, all right, depopulating, making you sick, all right, making you people weak, all right, keeping you in hamster world, everything, man, all right, pushing out fake news, this is all, what he has planned, man, and most important is C-hipping, coming with the MOTB. He wants to C-hip you people, man. Wants you to depend on him. Wants you to worship him. All right? That's what Antiochus, how he was back then, wanted you, denounce your power, all right, and worship him. And that's what you're doing, all right? If you, bow down, all right, and receive that C-hip, then you're going to be destroyed. All right, man, not to get off track, but, as the scripture says, he's going to come with great wrath, all right, because he know he had but a short time. These elites, these Rothschilds, the banker families, they know, all right, America is crashing, America is in debt. All the nations wants to destroy this place. All right, the scripture says whether the beast should hate the whore. All right, you even have, the UN, and the EU turning their backs on America, man, So, it's all part of prophecy, all right? It's all part of prophecy, man. Now, what else we have? Let's see. Try to make this quick. The book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 16. It says, redeeming the times, because the days are evil. All right, yeah, redeeming the times, all right? Watching for prophecy, watching the news, and this is the news. The good news, Not Fox, CNN, and all that bullshit. All right, this is the news, this truth, prophecy, man. So it says what? Redeeming the times, because the days are evil. Yeah, the days are evil. Evil meaning bad times, All right, and these are the times, the prophets of old been speaking, having visions on, The elders and apostles been teaching, all right, for years, all right, letting you know what's finna come, So it says what? The days are evil. Let's continue on, verse 17. It says, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understand what the will of the Lord is. Yeah, so you have to be wise, man, and understand what the will of the Lord is, and that's why you have to have this truth. all right, to understand what's truly going on, all right, you know, because what the will of the Lord is to destroy this place, all right. It's all of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, all right, making this place crash, all right. You know, the scripture says, you know, the Lord is in control of the mind of the king. You know, roughly paraphrasing. You know, so whatever's put in play, whatever this devil has planned, that's all of the Lord. You know, whether he wants to come down upon you people, you know, come with a sword, cause earthquakes. You know, you had what the earthquake just happened in Colombia, you know, and last month you had it happen in Venezuela. Major earthquakes, man. You know, a lot of judgment, tornadoes. You know, a lot of death is out there, man. You know, but you know, like I said, you had the earthquake happen in Colombia. You know Esau Edom. You know he has the button, all right, to make these things happen, all right, and do it and cause these problems, all right. But you know it's all still of the Lord, using him, all right, for judgment. You know. So it says what? Verse 17, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understand what the will of the Lord is. And be not drunk with wine, where is access, but be filled with the Spirit. So you have to be filled with the Spirit, man. All right? And that's this truth. All right? You have to have the knowledge and wisdom of this truth. You know? To understand what's really going on. You know? So yeah, you want to be filled with the Spirit. All right? And not giving in, all right, to the flesh. You know, don't get comfortable. All right? Don't start thinking shit sweet. Don't think you have time. All right? Because hey, that's what he wants you to do. You know, that's what Esau Edom wants you to do, man. Peace and safety. Everything's okay, you know, it's just normal, you know. Hey, this place is about to get fucking destroyed. Losing the war. All right, hey, missiles are going to rain down on this place, man. All right? Let's end it off with this. 2nd Ezra chapter 8, verse 50. It says, for many great miseries should be done to them that in the latter times should dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride, yet many great miseries, you know. All right? You know, troubles, you know, judgment, suffering, all right, is going to happen, all right, to them in the latter times, because what? They walked in great pride, you know. All right, like I said, tornadoes, you have earthquakes, you know, hey, that's the Lord judging, you know. Judging the pride, you know. America is prideful, all right? And everybody in it is prideful, man. You know, so, hey, the time is here. You know, when the Lord is visiting this place, you know, casting judgment, you know, bugging you people out, smiting these niggas with madness, you know, who come up against this truth, you know. So what? In the end, you know, hey, then they're gonna know. All right, hey, the Lord is showing who he's truly with. You know. All right, and that's the prophet, his men, that's teaching 100% truth, man. You know. And the Lord is even judging. All right, you Israelites. You know, who claim they have the truth. Hewing you down, man. You and your congregation, and you know all the false prophets, man. Right along with the Christian church, you JC loving niggas, you know. All right, but at times it's gonna get worse and worse. You know, and it's all due to the Lord. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. All right, the faster this place go down, all right, the faster we in the kingdom. You know. So, hey, Lord willing, this video was edifying unto the elect, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makachodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Until next time, say Shalom.